Schoolboy error. Started the show on mute. Good evening, everybody. Spurs are in the news again. Hey. Tottenham Hotspur have a new interim manager. He will take charge for the last 12 games of the season. And of course, that manager, you've all seen it today, is IGOR Tudor. I will let you guys tell me what you think about it. It's not one that I could see happening, but it has happened. And we're going to find out that theory, right? Anybody is better than what we had. We're going to find out. Look, I don't, this is only my opinion. I don't think we're going down anyway, whoever the manager is. I don't think we're going down at all. But essentially, what a couple of wins needed, right? Essentially, couple of wins needed, and look, it is what it is. I mean, it's definitely not one that I think excites. Maybe it does. Maybe it excites some of you. Doesn't excite me, but again, at this stage, is it about that excitement, or is it about, hang on, we need some wins. We need some wins here. And let's be brutally honest, if he picks up a couple of wins and he'll have done his job, I mean, you know, I think people will naturally go overboard, won't they, if he picks up a couple of wins. Look, his first game is going to be against Arsenal. We'll see. What can he do? He's not got a lot of options. We know there's not a lot of footballers fit, but this is the guy that Vinay, Lang, Paratici's guy. I don't know. This is the guy that they've decided to come in and take charge at Tottenham Hotspur. So throughout the show, we'll have a little look at what's been said. We'll have a look at his career because he's managed a lot of teams, never anywhere for very long. And I want to find out from you lot, what do you think of IGOR Tudor? Is this the manager that anyone would have wanted? Is this the manager that you go, yeah, this is good, or do you look at it and go, this is Spursy? Where are you at with this? No Premier League experience. Is that the be-all and end-all? Is that a problem for you as a fan? Is that going to be a problem for him? And what does it mean if he does well? What if he wins 7 of his 12 games? Does he get the job permanently? We'll be looking into all of that. Look, it's as I said, for me, listen, I think I'll bore the life out of all of you now when I say I genuinely don't really care. Sorry, can you bear with me 1 second? 1 second. I left my drink on the landing. 1 second. 1 second. Sorry, everyone. I am here. Sorry, I left my drink on the landing and needed to charge my phone as well. Look, it's an interesting one, right? I don't think anyone really saw this coming. Now, it doesn't mean it's a bad appointment, but is it the appointment that anyone would have wanted? I don't know. I don't know. For me, meh. Sure, whatever. Does it scream of? Does it reek of desperation? Does it reek of lack of plan? Is this somebody that they've been in talks with before Frank left? Was he on their radar? We're hearing that Paratici wanted to bring in IGOR Tudor instead of Frank. Well, here he is. Here he is. Now, other options that were talked about when people like Gareth Southgate, people like De Zerbi. There was talks of Harry Redknapp, but we've gone with the untried Premier League, IGOR Tudor, the Croatian. So we'll have a little look at him in a minute. I don't know. When this news came through, no part of me sat there and went, "Oh, yeah." No part of me went, "Oh, this is awful." No part of me went, "Yeah, this is amazing." Um, I just feel like it's yeah, sure. Like, okay, what's he all about? There's people who think he's attacking, there's people who think he's pragmatic. What we do know is that he doesn't stay anywhere very long. Now, that's fine, right? Because it's an interim. But has he got the experience needed for would you say, are we in a relegation battle? You'd have to say we're pretty damn close to a relegation battle, right? So is he the guy that can lead us into, I say, keep us in the Premier League for next year? Is he the guy that can get these players playing? Now, you all know my opinion on the squad. You all know it. There's no point me going over it. You know where I'm at with that. I'm not expecting miracles from any manager that comes in. But when you bring someone in as an interim manager, you're kind of asking for miracles, right? You're kind of saying, hey, we're a mess. You have got this much time, hit the ground running. There's no free hits. There's no, well, don't worry, it's Arsenal. We'll just lose the next. This is not the way it is, right? This is what you bring a manager in for. If they're saying that Frank's not their guy, they've made that decision. They moved swiftly. They bought in Tudor. He now has to get some results, doesn't he? Now, I don't know. I feel so nonplussed about this. I feel a bit, I'm seeing lots online and lots of people are really upset by it. Some people think it's a brilliant appointment. Some people, I feel like most people, for me, what I've seen, again, a small sample size, most people I think are kind of like, what? Like, okay, who? That type of thing. But we know he was a good player. We know he had a good career. We know he's managed clubs like Juventus, right? Like Lazio. We know that he's managed at some bigger football clubs. But is he the guy for Tottenham Hotspur? I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look, shall we? We'll have a little look at first of all, let's see this. So this is what Fabrizio said. This is what Fabrizio said. He said breaking. This was ages ago, by the way, but breaking news. Igor Tudor becomes the new Tottenham interim coach until June 2026, as revealed earlier. He's accepted the job and ready to stay until the end of the season. But that's good. We couldn't bring him in for 1 or 2 games. He's ready to stay until the end of the season. It says main candidates for the permanent job in June are Roberto De Zerbi and, of course, everyone's favorite Argentinian, Maurizio Pochettino. Now, has this guy been picked because of his short stint at clubs? Has he been picked because of the style of play? People will be asking, what is his style of play? Is he a man-to-man manager? Is he gonna motivate? I think there's a lot of question marks here, right? I think there's a lot of question marks. All I can say, and I promised you I'd say this, is good luck. Welcome to Spurs. And let's hope that he can hit the ground running and start getting us some points. So, look, we know. Let's have a look. So let's see. We'll see here what Ornstein said. Might be too different, will it? David Ornstein earlier said this, didn't he? He said Tottenham Hotspur have reached a verbal agreement with Igor Tudor to become the new head coach. The 47-year-old Croatian set to join. No permanent option. So again, it's not a with an option to extend. But again, they can just offer him a deal if they want to. We'll see, right? It says arrives with big club experience, process led by Venkatesham and Lang. Now, can I ask any of you in the chat, does anyone believe that? Was this led by Venkatesham and Lang? I'm not sure. And the reason why I'm not sure, and I'm pretty sure you guys all feel the same, is we were told that this is the goal. We were told that this is the guy that Paratici wanted, wasn't it? So we were told that Paratici wanted him, and therefore, you know, and therefore there was the infighting between Vinay, and apparently Vinay and Lang wanted Frank, and Paratici wanted Igor Tudor. I don't I don't know. You're right. You're right. In the chat, someone said, yeah, you know, Ornstein is normally very reliable, but I don't believe that these two have led this. I believe that this is very much from the suggestion of Fabio Paratici. It screams Fabio Paratici, doesn't it? This type of manager. I just wonder what sort of reception he's going to get. I just don't know what sort of reception he's going to get. Listen, the fans will welcome him. Of course they will. I don't know. It's a strange one. Normally, you know, I kind of have a real strong feeling either way about a player or about a manager, but I don't with this. I know I said I wouldn't, but I genuinely don't. Like when the news came through, there was no, oh my God, or oh wow. It was just a bit, you know, I get the sense from everybody. You know, I was streaming earlier with Sean and Stel and Danny and Lubo and Danny, and I just kind of get the feeling that everyone's kind of a bit okay. And this is due to years and years of mismanagement, right? This is years and years of mismanagement where we don't trust the club, right? And this was the thing we said, didn't we? Well, some people said, you know, it's okay sacking managers, absolutely fine, but what's your plan? And if this was their plan, fair play. If they've acted quickly. I mean, when did Thomas Frank go? Wednesday, was it Wednesday morning? Thursday morning? I can't even remember where he went. Thursday morning, wasn't it? Wednesday morning. I don't know, one of the mornings he went. They've moved quickly. And they'll turn around and go, look, we've been decisive, we've swooped, we've moved in, this is our guy. But I don't know, I can't really get any excitement for it. Now, maybe that changes, you know, maybe he comes in and, you know, the first couple of games, you know, Spurs look really good and we all go, oh, wow, what fair play. But at this stage, I think we kind of know it's not really about style. I mean, yes, everyone wants to watch entertaining attacking football, but it's not really about style, is it? It's about, you know, keeping Spurs in the Premier League. And I think we will. I do think we will. I love this already. Maria saying, are you going to apologize to Ange? Am I going to apologize? Sorry, hang on. Yeah, let me WhatsApp him. I'll send him a message. Absolute twat. What? Apologize about what? Oh, God, I hate twats. You are a twat. I don't care. You're a twat. What are we doing here? Are you going to apologize to Ange for Ange telling us what we knew about the club already? What is wrong with this era of human being? It's absolutely mad. Anyway, big up to that person. God, are you going to apologize to Ange? Are you going to apologize? Are you going to apologize to Richie because you don't rate him and he scored a goal? Shut up. All of these dickheads everywhere. Oh, so-and-so needs an apology. Oh, you've got to apologize. What am I apologizing for? What do you mean? We finished 17th. We lost 22 league games. What am I apologizing for? Ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, let's have a little look, shall we? We'll have a little look at no, that's not the right thing to do. Here we go. Let's have a look at his Wikipedia page. Let's have a look. What do we know? There you go. It's already been updated. He's currently the interim manager of English Premier League club Tottenham Hotspur. So what do we know about him? Let's scroll down a little bit. we don't need to talk about his playing days. We know what he was. Anyone who watched him, he was a good centre back. He could play holding midfield as well. And you can see there that as a player, like played for Hajduk Split, Juve, Hajduk Split again, and 55 Croatian caps. Now it gets interesting where we then look at his managerial career, right? So if we have a look here, look, you can see through here. So in 2015, and this is I say the worry. That's not the right words. It's not really about worry, but this is a guy that manages for very short stints, right? Very short stints at football clubs. So when we look at this, where are we? Sorry, I don't know what's happening on my screen. There we go. When we look at this, he started his managerial career there in Hajduk Split. That we can see there. There you go. In 2000, and then he was appointed head coach of PAOK or PAOK, and then Galatasaray, and then Udinese, and then Hajduk Split again, and then Juventus, and then Hellas Verona, and Marseille, and then Lazio, and then Juventus, and it's let's look at it down here. Maybe this would have been easiest to do, wouldn't it? Look, his managerial there. Look, I mean, this is a lot of clubs and not a lot of games, any of them. I mean, I think look, 78 is his most for any club, which was Hajduk Split, his first club. And then listen, it's not the worst record at all, is it? In terms of win percentage, obviously 38% isn't great with Karabakspor, but 55% with Galatasaray, 50% exactly with Udinese, only over 4 games, 40% with Udinese over another 22, 18 games and a 50% win rate. Hajduk Split, 38% with Hellas Verona isn't too bad for that club. Marseille, 56%, Lazio, 54%, and then Juventus, 41%. So, look, he's managed 341 games in his managerial career. So he's got experience. But again, you can see there, look, he's managed in Croatia, in Greece, in Turkey, in Italy, in France, now England. I feel like this is correct. Sorry, this person who said this, let's have a look. What's going on there? Where did I see the comment I just liked? There. Danny Bell said he's a professional caretaker. He's here to have an initial uplift till Poch hopefully comes in the summer. And that is the be-all and end-all for a lot of fans, right? Is Pochettino. It feels like that is what Spurs want to do. That feels like it's the be-all and end-all. And somebody is keeping the seat warm. Then you've got other people that will say, well, he's sacked for a reason, right? I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of every single job he's had, but we do know that he's a manager version of a journeyman, right? It doesn't feel like, and again, it's not important for Spurs at this stage. He's never really built anything. He's never been anywhere long enough to see anything through. He exposed the club. Everyone's been exposing this club. Conte exposed the club. Sherwood exposed the club. Poch exposed the club. AVB, Jose, they've all exposed the club. Did Ange say, we'll talk about it a bit later, but did Ange say anything that you went, oh, really? He said everything we knew. Like, he hasn't told us anything new. Fair play to him for coming out and saying it, but we all knew it. What is it that you think he said? What is it that you think he said that made me go, oh my God, we know what happens at Spurs. We know that managers don't get backed. We know this. We know that they would rather bring in kids. We know this, right? Let me just check. So Vitor Pereira, by the way, is a done deal. Vitor Pereira is a done deal to Nottingham Forest. So they've got their guy. I mean, I believe he's permanent, right? If I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure that's permanent, which is absolutely crazy. It's like the fourth manager in however long, in 25 odd league games, right? So it's absolutely crazy. Let me know in the chat. Give me a word. How you feeling about Igor Tudor? I just can't I don't know. I just can't get excited by it. He's not a name that I heard anyone mention, right? There was no one going, we need that guy. We need the Croatian Igor. Doesn't mean he's the wrong choice. We're going to see. There'll be people like this. Big up to you, Ledoux. Said, just beat Arsenal. Just beat Arsenal. Listen, what better way to start your career as a manager than beating the arch rivals? But also a very difficult game. First game at home. We're not good at home, and we're playing the best team in the country. What a lovely start for Tudor. Now, there'll be lots of talk about, does he play four at the back? We know that he tends to favour the three at the back. Have Spurs got the players to play a three at the back? Who goes centre half? At the moment, you've got Reddy Dragosine and Mickey van der Ven fit. Does he chuck Byfield in there? Does Paulinho slot in? Does Archie Gray slot into the right-hand side of the back three? Does he play a back three? Maybe he looks at the squad and goes, I can't really play a back three. It's going to be very interesting, but needs must, right? And when you sack a manager with 12 games to go, the pool that you are picking from is going to be tiny. It's not this great big sea of managers. It's a swimming pool. It's a paddling pool full of choices, right? There's not a lot to pick from. So give me some words. Give me some. I really want to see some words that you guys are going to put onto this. No, sorry. You did mean it in a bad way, because you're like, oh, you're going to apologize. Like, I don't understand people like you. Football opinions, no one's going to apologize for not liking a manager or something. You have to apologize for it. It's just ridiculous. We've got to stop doing this. No, you were wrong. You were right. Let's apologize. Apologize. Everyone can say what they want. Right now, there's going to be people, right? There's going to be people. Big up to my man. How you doing, Cole? You all right? Numb. I like that. Yeah, numb. Lovely seeing you yesterday as well, Con. Nice little venture to Birmingham. I was in Birmingham. Hope you got back safely, man. Good seeing you last night. Numb. Absolutely. That is a great word. Right. So we've got numb. Finn is intrigued. Fifth elemento, one of my favorite words in the English language, meh. Just meh. Just meh. I like that. Meh. Miffed. Again, we're going to get a full range of emotions here, aren't we? Miffed. Meh. Another meh. Intrigued, somebody else says. Absolutely, Nige. Absolutely. And if you haven't subscribed, get over to Nige at Pure Coys. Lovely guy. Great content creator. Yeah, permanent Nottingham Forest. What? Doesn't win for 5 games, he's going to get sacked. It's crazy. Honestly, Nigel, I feel like when we were younger, this didn't happen. I don't remember managers getting sacked at the rate that they're getting sacked now. I'm seeing today that Hertzler is under pressure at Brighton, and you're like, is anybody safe? What else have we got? Moni D has said, Redknapp said, give me £1 mil to keep you up. Tudor said, give me £1. Guess who the board hired? Content. Okay. Content. Yeah. Sava feels like when Fulham got Felix Magath to save them. Yeah, it's very much a short-term appointment, isn't it? We know that. We know it's a short-term appointment. But it does beg the question, what if he comes in and wins 7 of his 12? Do the board turn around and go, there you go, this is our guy? What will that make the fans happy? He's not Poch, so do they get frustrated? I don't know. Who knows? Peter said, Jesus Christ, this club will never learn. Guaranteed relegation. I don't think we're going to go down. I never thought we were going down under Frank. People can say we were guaranteed to, but no one can say it with any certainty, right? None of us know what would have happened. We're in a tough run of games, but maybe the run of games after that, you win 3 or 4. It's so hard to tell, isn't it? Coys 91 has said reasonable. I like that. It's reasonable, a reasonable appointment. Do you get a job at Juve if you're not a good manager? There you go. Maybe he is. Maybe he's a great manager. There you go. Maybe he is. TT Dub said, Sava, we have fans in here confessing they have no idea who he is, calling him trash. What's wrong with our fans? Yeah, look, I mean, I worry if anyone doesn't know who he is. You know, he was a very good player. He was a Croatian international. He's managed a lot of teams. I do find it funny when people are going, who? So, well, you know, he has been around, you know. Adam, I like this. We're Watford. We are, well, Forest and Watford are the Premier League with their managers, aren't they? But yeah, Watford love sacking a manager. Love sacking a manager. But look, this is going to be, it's always an interesting one, isn't it? When you bring in an interim, if he does get us relegated, that's on your CV, right? That's on your CV. I went to Spurs. They were 5 points above the drop and I got them relegated. So when people say it can't get any worse, that's the theory, right? That it can't get any worse than it was. Let's hope that's true, because X number of defeats, you're now looking at, you know, I said the other day, we're not looking over our shoulder anymore. Like they're breathing down our necks. Do you know what I mean? They're there. I can feel them. We can feel them. Now, thank you to Man United the other night for Sesko grabbing that late goal that kept West Ham 5 points at bay. But hey, 2-game swing. It's a 2-game swing. So we'll see. We'll see, right? Big up to my man, Glenn. How you doing, Glenn? Hope you are well. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. It's any managerial appointment's a gamble. But yes, I guess you're coming from the point of view of no Premier League experience. And I'll let you guys discuss in the chat how important to you is Premier League experience? How important to the job? You know, have we got a manager that's going to be learning not only the club, but the league at the same time? Have we got time for a manager to learn and adapt to the Premier League, right? This isn't well, let's give him 15 games, see how he goes. This is, no, you're in to do it from day one, your job, right? Danny said Ange was just a yes man, didn't object. Well, listen, they're all, I never agree with the yes man saying they're all yes men, right? As Ange was spot on what he said. He said, you know, you got to keep your mouth shut as a manager or you get sacked. And unfortunately, this is the problem. So unless they want to get sacked, they're not going to talk out. This is why when people go, so-and-so's a yes man, he's a yes man, he's a yes man. It doesn't, they're all yes men at every club, right? That's the point. Davis has said a stupid decision. Okay. Tell me more. Why stupid? Tell me more. Curious. I like that. Curious. Mark said, you'll see if he's any good in the first game. Well, it's going to be tough, right? He's not got many players to choose from. He's not got many players to choose from. So let's see. Glad because his system fits our squad. What system is the 11 or 12 players capable of playing? Tell me more. Elaborate. Tell me more. Ghosted trusts Fabio more than Lang and Vinay. I don't trust any of them. I feel like they've done nothing. They've done nothing. Yeah. Only thing that would surprise me these days is alien invasion. Yeah, listen, especially when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur, nothing surprises you about this club. You must be really, not you, but you know, you're going to have to be really young or only supported Spurs for a little bit if anything surprises you. I think I've supported Spurs so long, but I've been there, seen it, done it with everything. Great managers, shit managers, great players, shit players, sackings at halftime, sackings before a cup final, right? Like you just, nothing surprises you about Tottenham Hotspur. Tudor hasn't even started yet. I'd rather have Coco the Clown. Embarrassing. Looks a bit harsh. You don't like the appointment that much that it's harsh, that it's embarrassing. Okay. Big up Alfie. Said I won't be happy if Frank has been sacked and Vinay and Lang keep their jobs beyond the summer. I won't watch if they do. Alfie, for me, these two so far have not showed that they know how to run a club. Like they've not shown that they know how to run a club, decisively. They've not shown that they're cutthroat. as we said, if you were going to sack Frank, for me, I've said this before, if you were going to sack him, you sack him at the beginning of January and give a manager some new players. Bring in, if you want Tudor, bring him in at the beginning of January, let him loan a few players in. No, but we didn't. We waited till 10 days after a transfer window shut, so the new manager gets no resources. And that was what a lot of people were worried about, right? A lot of people were worried that this is what we will do. We will sack Frank when the window is shut. And it was all very obvious, right? It was all very obvious. Spurs did what we thought Spurs would do. And again, as I said, it's not that Frank didn't need to go, but could you not have sacked him a bit earlier and backed the new manager with a couple of loan signings at least? You know, John Duran on loan for goals, for example. You know, I'm not saying you go and buy him permanently, but he's available. He's on, he's on loan at, he's gone to Shakhtar, right? Could you have not brought him in? Moussa Diaby on loan, maybe? You know, just a few loan signings would have really helped any manager. And Tottenham did what Tottenham do, right? We did what we do. How do you see our players' mindset to a temporary situation? Will they embrace a new voice or ignore instruction from someone who will be gone? This is always the problem with an interim, right? This is the problem with it. It has pros and cons, doesn't it, Peter? This is the thing. Does he come in? And, but it could be anyone. Does an interim manager go into a club and all the players go, yeah, I'm on board. I back you. You're here for 10 weeks, 12 weeks. I back you. I'm going to run through brick walls for you. Now, you'd like to think that they're all professional enough that they would do that. But we've seen from players like Romero that they don't, do they? They are very quick to down tools, this lot. And then what we'll start hearing is certain players within the dressing room don't like Tudor's style or his management or his press conference. And then we'll all go, see, look, the players don't like him. Got to make sure that doesn't happen. And this is the difficulty of an interim manager, right? Have they got the respect? Can he go straight into that dressing room and command the respect from these players who are not very respectful at times, right? So, yes. Big up to you, Roberto. How you doing, my man? Says you would think, but if he pulls off a win in that game, he's got one foot in the door already. Right, so we're saying if he beats Arsenal, he kind of puts himself in the frame for the full-time job. But yeah, look, I'll keep for anyone who's just joined, I'll keep reiterating. I don't feel any way about it. Just get the job done, get to the summer, and I think we all know that they want Poch, right? But as Romano has said and Ornstein have said, De Zerbi's name keeps popping up. Now, do the players think we'll just do enough to stay in the league? Are they going to run through brick walls? Can they put a run together? Can we win 6 or 7 out of the last 12 to make the season look respectable? I don't know. I don't know if the players have got those personalities. I don't know if they've got that fight in them. We'll see. We will see. I'm like most of you. I think a lot of people seem to, say it's a bit meh or it is what it is. But Spurs have moved. And welcome, Dan. How you doing, mate? You okay?
You all right, Phil?
You good?
Yeah. Just got back from running the dog out for a walk. It's bloody wet out there.
Oh, God, yeah. We took Stanley out and he came back very, very just wet and cold. Oh, awful. Dan, I don't really have any emotion either way about this as a signing. Now, I know it's only temporary, but what was your first thought when you saw that this had been agreed? Were you a bit nonplussed, or were you like, okay, that's a bloody good signing, or a bit meh? Or
I must admit, it actually made me raise my eyebrows a bit. I didn't see that one coming. Now, I know a lot of people won't know of him. A lot of people don't follow European football as such. It's each their own at the end of the day. Just because you don't follow it, don't make you any less of a supporter or whatever. It's just some people do, some people don't. I know of him because I remember him when he played at Juventus. I remember him as a Croatian player as well because I used to actually like him as a player because he was quite a nasty piece of work.
Yeah.
He ain't a small fella. Yeah, built like a brick shithouse, and he did love getting stuck in, but he was actually good at what he did. And I remember, I think I only see him play one game as manager at Lazio, 1 or 2, but I see him play about 7 or 8 with Juventus. He got them better than what they were. And there's that side of me where I'm just at that point where literally everything that happens at Spurs at the moment, I'm just a bit like, meh, but okay. Is anything ever going to really change or whatever? But I'm quite alright with it. I'm interested in it, definitely, because I like the way he plays. He usually tries with 3 at the back from what I remember, 3-4-2-1, 3-4-1-2. But then I saw him play with 4 at the back once, but I only saw him play with Juventus about 7 or 8 times. And I like his style of play. It's my style of play. But is it going to work for Spurs? I don't know. I like the style of play with 3 at the back, bring it to 5 at the back when you need it, take it up and then push forward with the wing backs. Direct counter-attacking football. That is his style of football. I like that. Have we got the team to do that? I think the question you can reverse it to is, have we got the team to bloody do anything at the moment? Because we definitely ain't got wingers. So where do we go as such with, and with the players we've got at the moment, through the injuries and everything, which it has been quite savage on us in that aspect, that is the one bit of sympathy I do have for Frank. It's let's see how it goes. I'm interested. Let's put it this way. I was not expecting that one in any way. I don't think we'd go for full-time, or I didn't think we'd go part-time for, what's his name, De Zerbi. To me, he's a poor man's Conte. What I mean by that is he's obviously not as good manager as Conte, but he's got the same sort of attitude as Conte. He's fire-headed and that. I don't think Spurs will ever have that sort of manager in there again.
Yeah.
But then this fella, I remember him as a player. He was quite a hot-headed player. He did love to get stuck into a game. I'm interested. I like his style of play personally, but will it work for us? I don't know. But I'm definitely interested. But anything that seems to happen at Spurs at the moment, I must admit, a lot of it just sort of...
Yeah. Okay. I mean, can you understand... Look, I put a poll out, Dan, right? And I gave people an option. Said, how do you feel about him? And the options were excited, hate it, meh, or Spursy. 21% of 700 people roughly are excited. 7% hate it. Meh, 50%. I think that kind of sums up more than anything. And Spursy is at 22%. So it very much feels like it's an underwhelming appointment. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong appointment. Do you know what I mean? I think because a lot of people, like you said, won't have watched a lot of him or know him too well. But it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. The first 2-3 games are going to tell us everything, right? We're going to see, are they fighting for him? What's he implemented? And he's now got what? I think the players are off until Monday, I think, if I read correctly.
Well, they got 5 days off or something, didn't they?
Yeah. I think they were probably just going to give them a... I wouldn't. I don't think they deserve to have 5 days off, if I'm brutally honest.
I was probably scared of them getting injured.
Yeah. None of you are training again. Yeah.
I could believe that.
Yeah. And like Wolfie, we spoke on messaged yesterday or today, whenever it was. Yeah. Who are the biggest clown show right now? Is it Forest or Spurs? Yeah. You guys are on your 4th manager of the season. It's only been 26 league games. Is there any scenario which you see, Dan, that he comes in, has a blinder and keeps the job? Or do you think this is just 100% he's keeping that seat warm for Poch or De Zerbi or someone like that?
No, 110% he's He's keeping it warm, basically, 110%. What is going to happen? I'm willing to put money on it. After the World Cup, Poch is coming back. That, for me, I mean, I've said this for a while. You've agreed with it and said it for a while, and a couple of others have. Poch is their final little trick card that they've got.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll try and find another, but Poch is the final one they've got to shut this fan base up again because it's starting to get fruity. So I reckon Poch, conveniently, in his chat and whatever, and also other interviews he's done recently, Spurs will always be with his heart and everything. He wants to go back to the Premier League at some stage and whatever. He wants to finish a job that he started and everything. The hints have all been there for a little while now. Something's been brewing for a little while on that side. I do think he's just keeping the seat warm for Poch, basically, and I think we're going to see Poch back after the World Cup, basically.
No, I agree. I think it will be Poch. The thing Dan, you've heard me say this a number of times. I don't care if it's Poch. I don't care if it's not. What I don't want to see is that we don't have any transfer activity and the excuse is, well, Poch is at the World Cup. I don't want to hear any of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Poch is your guy, you draw up plans before Pochettino goes to that World Cup as to, right, who are we going for? What are our targets, right? I don't want, we'll wait till July when he's back. Let me ask you this. This is a good point. So somebody said this. I haven't actually seen the interview, but a few people have mentioned about Teddy Sheringham. Big up to you, Hot God. Said, I respect Teddy Sheringham's opinion. He doesn't understand why we've brought in an interim that has no Premier League experience. He questions those who are making these decisions. I hope he's wrong. The Premier League experience bit it's a very good talking point, right? Where are you at with that?
For me, Premier League experience comes more for a player than a manager, I think.
Okay.
I think manager is a bit more of a universal job, if that's the right phrase to use for it, as in you can watch it and sum it up from that as such. When it comes to actually playing a game, it's very different to watching a game, isn't it? And I think going from one league to another playing is a massive step at times, especially when you come to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Because it's very different to every other league, basically. And so I think it's harder for a player to necessarily have no Premier League experience than maybe a manager as such. Yeah. I think the manager just needs to watch some football, basically, to suss it out, which he's probably watched plenty of it anyway, being a football person. Whereas a player, like I said, it's physically he's got to do it, not mentally. With all this bloke's got to do, I say it as all very lightly, is do it mentally as such. He hasn't got to go and get stuck in on the pitch himself. So I don't think the Premier League experience, it would have been nice to maybe have the Premier League experience, but for a manager, I'm not so bothered about it. For a player, all right, I'd have more of a chat about it as such. But for a manager, I don't really think it matters so much because, again, that's all he's got to do is sit there and watch some football. And I'm sure he's watched the Premier League for many years. So I mean, look, that side of it don't bother me.
He's well travelled, right? He's managed in France. He's managed in Italy. He's managed in Croatia. He's managed in Turkey. So we are talking about an experienced guy. Do you think part of the reason why they've gone for him is that he is very much an interim guy? Like if I bring this up again, you can see there the number of games he's managed. Like he's not a guy where he goes right. Look at I think the most he's had here, mate, is there you go. Look, 78. That was his first job at Hajduk Split. Since then, I don't believe he's not hit 50 games with any club other than Hajduk Split 12 years ago.
The only thing I know from him manager-wise is more from the Italy side is that when he did manage at Lazio, when he did manage at Juventus, he did improve them.
Sure.
Overall, he did improve them. I mean, what was it? I mean, his first game there, I think it was his first or second game, he won about 4-5-0. And they started upping it a bit. I think that season, he left before the end of the season, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly, but they did get Champions League that year. And Juventus, for the past 10 years, really haven't been. They haven't been half the team that they were 10 years before then, have they?
When I was growing up, they were.
They went 10 years straight winning that league. They was like a Bayern Munich at one point. And Serie A, the one thing I always loved about it is there was always competition for the title as such. But over that 10-year period, Juventus won it straight for about 9 or 10 years, didn't they? Something like that. I mean, I've personality-wise as well, and this is only going by what I saw of him as a player. I think he's more the sort of person, personality-wise, that I would rather have. I mean, Frank was someone I wanted at the club. He was my third choice. I liked him, the idea of his adaptability and everything, which I don't think went down too well. But when I actually look at it on a realistic point of view, maybe not so much of a football point of view, but a personal point of view, I'd rather sit down the pub with Ange than I would with Frank. You know? Because Frank has come across.
Frank's a very calm character, isn't he? Frank's very relaxed.
He just comes across like a bit of a wet fish, if you're going to be honest.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
But I wouldn't, a very calm person, but I wouldn't say he's cool, calm, and calculated as such. You know, there's a bit of a difference between a calm person. And whereas Ange, a lot more bold, a lot more forward, a lot more in your face as such. That's the sort of person I prefer to know. And I'm not saying Ange was a good manager by any means. But I think one of the biggest problems here that's definitely showed is, and it's been said by a couple of players, whatever, lovely how they always like to speak their word as soon as the manager disappears, isn't it? I do think one thing that you could definitely see he struggled with was hyping his players up, basically, getting them up for the game. Because I must admit, if I had someone like him talking next to me and the way he does it and everything, that he wouldn't exactly hype me up. Yeah, someone's just said it on here, Paul, charisma. Yeah, charisma is the word. Frank did not come across, he had about as much charisma as a bit of cardboard, basically. And I reckon that has shown with the players in some aspect from what they've seen and that. He's a manager. The way he played football, he was very aggressive, very in your face, didn't take no crap. As a manager, when I did see Juventus play, he's very loud on the side sort of thing. I think it might be the sort of thing we need. We might need that manager who's willing to give them a kick up the arse, basically.
See, this is interesting for me because we're about to see what are these players made of. And I'm someone who's been very critical of the players. You know my feelings where I actually rate them as players. But we're now about to find out about their personality, right? I don't expect these players to suddenly turn into world beaters, but we're about to see what's their attitude like. Are they going to look at this guy and go, I'm running through brick walls for you for the next 3 months. For 12 games, I'm running through brick walls for you. Or are they going to do what they've done for the last 3 years and down tools and have the opinion of, oh, well, he's only here for 12 games. What do I need to listen to him? Why do I need to? I don't know the answer to that question, Dan. I don't think any of us do yet. But he's going to have to come in immediately and get that into the Romeros and get that into these types of players that, hey, I'm the boss, listen to me. Are they going to feel that way about him?
I don't know. Is Romero going to feel that way about anyone? For me, the sooner the fella pisses off, the better. I don't like him. I really ain't too keen on him. On his day, I'm not going to go into it, but on his day, as good as anybody out there, just lack of days, inconsistent. He's done a poor job as a captain. The sooner he goes, the better. And I think it's obvious he don't want to be here either. And he's not going to be playing for 4 games anyway. So at the moment, I think Romero's pretty irrelevant, if I'm going to be honest. He's going to have to get those. If he can get those players hyped up for that Arsenal game, at least get it look like that they want to get stuck into the game and try it. Unlike that first game we had with them, where I said that made me question Frank that he could not hype his team up for a bloody Arsenal game or a Chelsea game. Not that you should have to, but it is what it is. If he can at least get them hyped up to get stuck into the game as such, and it looks like the Spurs players are actually trying, even if we go and get done 3-0, you can still see the team tried. There's been games out there that we've played, and it looks like the players just didn't even give a shit, basically.
Yeah.
And
but
there's been
we've got to see it from minute one, right? Against Arsenal at home. I still feel though that the fans have got a big part to play. We need that place rocking. Welcome the new manager, have that place rocking, Give the players and the manager no excuse. Do you know what I mean? Have it rocking from before the game, in the game, after. You know, I just question, is the character in this team? We know that most of these players would never have been in a relegation battle. Have they got the balls to go onto that pitch and go, right, we're leaving everything on this pitch. Win, lose or draw, we are going to be in a game. We're going to get forward. We're going to throw our bodies on the line to stop goals going in. Have they got that in their lockers, Dan?
Only time will tell in that aspect. I mean,
Sure.
I think a lot of the team in general are soft anyway, but we have had some stronger players coming into the team now that we've got players like Gallagher there, which I was more than happy with that buy. I think he's a good player personally.
Yeah, he is. He is.
And he's nothing special.
He's coming to a really poor team, hasn't he? So it's difficult to see the best of him yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's nothing special, but he's more than easily a type of person that walks into our first team. Even if our entire team's fit, let's be honest, Gallagher gets straight into it, in my opinion. I mean, who else takes his place there? I mean, he's a better overall player than Bentancur. Maybe Bentancur's got that little bit more skill than him, if you want to put it like that. But put him and Paulinho next to each other, you've actually got a bit of balls in your team now. You've got a bit of man in your team now. Whereas you look at other players, even with Romero, you can say you got a bit of man. You got a man in there who gets into it, and even to an extent with maybe Van der Ven, he's not scared of it either. Whereas you look at a lot of other players we've got and had, you wouldn't want them standing next to you if something went wrong as such.
Yeah.
Half of them just look like they'd have a panic attack or get sorted out quicker than you. And we've basically just got to get stuck into these games now. We've got to give it. I think the first game with Arsenal, no one's expecting to win it. So I think he's got that advantage of, as all he's got to do is get him stuck into the game. We've got to hit the ground running, right? And one of the things that a lot of people have talked about, I've seen today, is we know that his teams like to press. We know that he demands that high press. Some people have been saying that the concern with that isn't that the manager does that. That's a good thing. But is that with our injury-ravaged squad, we've only got X amount of players and some of them aren't even 100% fit. Have they got that in them? Have we got enough in the legs to play that pressing style of football for 90 minutes? I think it's a valid question. Yeah. I mean, if you look at us all season, have we even got it in to play 90 minutes? Most of the time we've been doing it since Conte, basically, where we've only got 45 minutes in us. And then with the odd games here and there, we've got 90 minutes in us. But a majority of the time, it's either one half or the other, isn't it? Yeah. He's going to have to be sensible the way he does this as well. And this is where the question I turn it to is, what do we do with the Champions League? Because the less games we have, the better, basically, because we have not got a squad out there that can handle Champions League and Premier League. Yeah. I've got the attitude, basically, of just completely blow the Champions League out and just focus on that Premier League, because that's the important one. The Champions League to me is irrelevant now. We're not going to bloody win it. And okay, it can get us more money.
Maybe Igor Tudor, maybe with Roberto Di Matteo.
Who knows? Who knows in that aspect? Maybe we get relegated and go and win the bloody Champions League. That would probably
he could be our most successful manager in 3 months.
And get us relegated at the same time. That would be the most Spursy thing you can do. Get relegated and win the Champions League and then be playing Millwall and then the following week Real Madrid. Only Spurs can pull something like that off, Only. Yeah. But I mean, with the team we've got, or lack of team we've got and everything at the moment, I think we need to focus on that Premier League, out and out. Champions League, honestly, I don't care if he goes and puts the kids out there for it. Forget the Champions League. It's done. It's dusted. Focus on that league. We need to get at least 3 to 4 wins out of that and 2 draws, and I think we're safe, basically. I know people are saying we ain't going to go down. West Ham are 5 points behind us. Well, hang on a minute. There was 9 points behind us only a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, And I've been saying for a while that I'm worried that if we don't sort it out, we're going to be in a serious relegation battle. With Ange just said, if we don't fix up as a squad, as a team, within the next year or two, we're going to be seriously looking at a relegation fight out there. And we are not a mile from it, and we are not too big to go down. And I still think some people look at it that we are too big to go down. I mean, it's all good saying now Frank's gone, we won't go down. Well, no, bollocks. We haven't seen the results yet. This fella might turn out even worse than Frank. We just don't know.
Well, let's see.
I don't think he will. I don't think we will go down. I think we're going to stay up by the skin of our teeth, basically. And then this is going to be our last chance to fix up, or the following season, we are definitely on the cards.
Yeah. Look, it's definitely going to be interesting, because you're right. This squad, this was a huge concern at the beginning of the season, was this squad wasn't ready for Champions League football. You know, I don't think it's ready for European football. You know, we've seen now 2 years in a row that we can't compete on two fronts. We just can't. It's just, we're not built for that. But, you know, will the fans just accept it if he blows out the Champions League? I don't. He doesn't strike me as the sort of character that will. By the way, I feel like he'll want to go into all of these tournaments and try and win them. But look, you're right. Like 5 points can change like that. But lots of fans are talking about we need 4 wins. I don't think we're going to need 4, if I'm brutally honest. I think if we get 4, West Ham need to win 50% of their games. Right? So if we win 4,
Fair point.
West Ham United will need to win 6 of the last 12. And there's a reason why they're down there. They're not capable of winning 6 out of 12. But
so 3 and 2 draws.
I think this could be quite a low amount that keeps the team up. You know, Forest aren't good. I mean, Brighton are having an absolute shocker, aren't they? Brighton have won like 1 in 14 or something ridiculous like that. Palace are
they're not looking good.
They look like they pulled themselves clear of everything the other day, and then they lost 3-2 at home. So that is going for us, right? That there are a lot of clubs in and around with us. But this could, let's look at the negative side of this, Dan.
Actually, the realistic side, you mean? You mean the realistic side?
Yeah. I'll go to that in a minute. Let me do a few super chats. First of all, big up to Ryan Tristane. Hope you're well, Ryan. Hope you're well, my man. He said, welcome and good luck. That's all I can say. Yeah, listen, that's where I'm at with it. I don't feel one way or the other about him. Welcome, good luck. Just do enough, keep us up, and you'll forever be, fans will be grateful to him. But big up to you, Ryan. Big up to Fifth Elemento. Said, Sava's always speaking facts. Well, sometimes. He said, do you really think we're building up to bring Poch? Do you really think Poch is going to come back after the Ange rant? Well, look,
yes.
Yes, I do. But you would like to think that if Poch does come back, that he's learnt from the last time, and when talking to the owners is saying, right, I'll come back, but we can't be having any of that. It can't be that again. I need to know. I need reassurances. I need to know what the plan is, what's the structure, you know, what's expected of him. If not, if he comes back and we treat him the way we did before, the way we treated every other manager, as I said, I don't really care who the manager is, but I do think, like Dan said, I do think they're gearing up for Poch. That's only my belief. Big up to Paul Langley with a super sticker. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate the super sticker. Thank you very much, Paul. Always appreciate you in my chat. Big up to Ryan, who's come in again and said, Danny, do you think he has seen videos of our games to get an idea of what he can and can't do with this team?
Well, if he hasn't, then he's a bit of a mug in that aspect. And I'd say that to any manager. Same as I think that when Frank was coming to us, if you remember, we spoke about that as he was coming to us. I said he should already know what he wants to do, because he should already know the players and everything. He's been playing in the Premier League long enough. But if you're going to a job, you pre-prepare yourself for that job. And especially as a manager or whatever, you'd think he's already sat there and watched as many games as he can, or he's going to watch a fair few more games while he's got the chance to do it, to get the idea of it and that, and then check up on players, whatever else, because you'd think that is what a professional manager does. Like, when Frank came to us, I would expect him to already know who he wants in, who he wants out, and what he wants to do, basically. Pre-prepare himself for the job. That's what you would expect a professional football manager to do, in my opinion, anyway. So I would have thought, he does.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, surely when you get the phone call, the first thing you're going to do is go, okay, let me. Obviously, he's not going to have time to watch every game, but let me go back and have a look. And hang on, yeah, I can get the best out of them. I can't, but he's accepted the job, right? So in a way, he's got no excuse, right? He knows what he's coming into. A manager at this stage knows what they're coming into. He knows his remit. Big up to you for that, Ryan. A couple more super chats here. Big up to you. Fifth Elemento said, I swear, Dan is a Spurs wizard.
I don't think so.
Sure, I love that. Thank you very much, Fifth Elemento. Big up to a Dilution 1981. What year were you born, by the way? Just out of curiosity. Said, I feel like Spurs are just rolling the dice and basically have gone all in on red or black. Wish him all the best, especially with our fixture list and huge injury list. Fasten your seatbelts, guys. Now, I'll come back to this in a minute because I'll ask Dan a question off the back of this. I'll come back to this in a minute. Big up, as always. My man Jordan is always ridiculously generous to me. He said, I don't think we need a Premier League experienced manager as we've just had one. Whoever the manager was is walking into an average and very depleted squad, and that's the reality. I am past caring who it is now, in all honesty. You're absolutely right. The manager is walking into, I think it's an average squad. I think we all know it's a depleted squad, but he's also accepted it, right? He's accepted this knowing the circumstances. So what he can't do is go, well, we've got loads of injuries because, mate, you know the situation.
Yeah.
You know what you've got. Us as fans, we can say it because we're sitting here going, hang on, we just had a transfer window. We could have done that. But I don't make you wrong, Joel. I don't make you wrong. As I've said, I'm past caring who the manager is. Welcome, good luck. And what we know is get yourself in the good books of the fans and the players, beat Arsenal. Yeah, if you beat Arsenal in game one, you buy yourself. It then really wouldn't matter what he does for the next 11 games.
He'll buy himself the season. He would buy himself if he wins that Arsenal game. He's bought for the season.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
He can then go and lose 3 games, bloody 4-0, and people would still like him.
Absolutely. Big up to you, Jordan. Appreciate that. Really do, mate. You're always very generous to me, and it is appreciated. Going back to this. Fasten your seatbelts. Well, this is interesting, right? Because we talk about go and beat Arsenal and Fulham, get yourself off to a great start, 6 points, everyone loves you, right? The other side of that, Dan, the negative side, or maybe reality, we don't know, is what if you come in your first 2-3 games and you don't pick up a point, right? Fans are going to be angry. We're all going to be questioning why this manager was bought in. This is a real important first couple of games. He doesn't have any time here to settle this, does he? He's got to hit the ground running.
Basically, yeah. But at least with that first game, like I said, I think he's got that leeway with the first game. Is even if we go and lose the game 3-0, it's nothing what no one's not expecting. I mean, I think we can get a cheeky 2-2 draw out of it, but I've got a different reason why to it. But even if he gets beaten 3-0, as long as the players look like they've come out and got stuck in and wanted to play the game, I think people will be all right with that, because I think 95% of people are expecting basically us to get a beating off of Arsenal. And that's just being realistic, isn't it? In that aspect.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
It's got Paratici written all over it. This has it. It's got Paratici written all over it, 110%.
Yeah, I don't buy the whole. Like, listen, Ornstein is somebody that's normally very reliable, right? When he's saying Lang and Paratici, Lang and Vinay. I mean, yeah, Lang and Vinay would have gone and got him. But I don't believe that it was through their own idea or their own scouting. I believe that he's been on the list for some time as an option. That's only my that's only the way I see it. I could be completely wrong. Big up to Moose, by the way, out there in the US. How you doing, Moose? Not seen you for a while. Hope you are well. Draw versus Arsenal, win at Fulham, and I think things can turn. Frank had lost them. I think anyone different can get a result. Moose, that's got to be the point of this, right? It can't be that the new manager comes in and we're 3 games into his tenure going, oh, shit. Like, We've just lost the next 3 or the first 3. We've got to pick up points. Fulham seems the more realistic, but Fulham are not mugs. Fulham are not mugs. They're an awkward team, aren't they? You don't quite know what you're going to get for them, but we know they're organised under Silva. You know they're quite physically strong at the back with people like Calvin Bassey and Anderson, and they've got goal scorers like people like Harry Wilson, etc. But the Arsenal game for me has got to set the tone, Moose. The Arsenal game has got to set the tone. We cannot come out and play like we did against Newcastle. We cannot come out and show the lack of intensity that we did in the first half against City. We can't come out and play like we did, as Dan said earlier, when we played Arsenal, when we played Chelsea. This is Arsenal, first game, prove a point. Not Tudor, the players. He can put whatever he wants into them. They've got to respond. Now, is this a good time to play Arsenal, Dan?
That was what I was just about to say to you. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I feel like they're not in great form. Now, I'm going to look, and I bet you they are, but it feels like
they haven't. They've been. I wouldn't say struggling, but they haven't been looking great of late. Yes, they've had a good result. What was it against Leeds? I think it was. But
yeah, they battered Leeds, and then they battered Sunderland. Scraped past Chelsea, drew with Brentford, lost to United. So it's there's still a lot of wit. Don't get me wrong, I'd still love their form instead of ours, but are they getting to that stage of the season where it starts to catch up with your legs and the doubts start to creep in of shit, we've bottled leagues before? Like, are they in that stage, the Arsenal, and that makes them a good time to play them?
This is what I was saying last night on the show I was doing with Ben, and Mike was on there. The question sort of being, when we asked at the end what the result's going to be, I'm going with a cheeky 2-2, and there's a reason to it. Honeymoon period with a manager, I think we can get that bounce off it as such, because more often than not, that honeymoon period does happen. Also, over the past 5, 6, 7 years, I'd say Arsenal have been the biggest bottle jobs in the league. Yes, one of the best teams there, without a doubt, but they've been the biggest bottle jobs in the league. And I think that's just a fact. I mean, they had that league in the palm of their hand. Yeah, twice they should have got over the line by now. Whether you can blame it, they didn't have a strike or whatever else. They was nearly 12 points clear of City at one point, and they bottled it. They've had about 4 or 5 chances now to at least be, nearly 15 points clear of City, and they folded it every time. They always sit, and this time of the year, they always seem to start dipping. Whereas Man City, when it gets to March, usually, I know it's not the Man City team it was, but start climbing up a year or two. Yeah. And Arsenal, they've basically got, bar a player or two, they've got their full team out there. We've got nothing. we are going to be playing with scrimp and scrape. They've got the top league. They're the top team. They're the best in the country at the moment. They're having the best results, whatever. If anything, you would think any club right here and now, Spurs is the place to go to. Tottenham is the one to come to, basically. Everything is on Arsenal's side, where they need to win this game as much as we do, as such, if not more than what we do. Because we can still save our season. Losing this one 10-0, we can still save our season. They go and lose this game or draw this game, this can totally wreck their season. Every bit of pressure for me is on Arsenal. I don't think there is any real pressure on Spurs. New manager in there, who is he? People are saying, what's expected? We're going to get done 3-0 anyway. We're probably going to get a battering. Go there and give it what you got. Arsenal have got to go into this, and they have got everything on their side to say they should literally walk through this game. And to me,
and the interesting thing is, Dan, City play the night before. So City play Saturday night at home.
And Arsenal got another game coming up as well before they play us. They've got another game before they play us as well.
They got 2, haven't they? They got 2 between playing us, haven't they?
I think they've just played. I think they've got one more because that's their game in hand. I think they've got one more. Is it two more?
They've got Wigan. They got Wigan in the cup.
Oh, they got FA Cup, didn't they?
And then Wolves.
Yeah,
so they played twice. Yeah.
So
they would have played 3 games between us playing them. But
everything
you're right.
is on their side of they. How is it possible that they can even lose this game? It's practically impossible unless this, what is it they call it? Football gods or whatever they want to call it have something to say about it. There is nothing on this side that would make you think Arsenal are not going to walk through this game, basically, unless you look on the football side of it, on how Arsenal have and everything is on Arsenal's pressure as far as I'm concerned. If we go and lose this 3-0, as long as we get stuck into the game, the manager ain't going to get no stick for that. The players, it's going to be everything. The pressure is on Arsenal's side for me. So I think that is where you're going to see what is Arsenal's mentality like. And Arsenal's mentality over the past 5-6 years has been the biggest bottle jobs in the country. I think we can squeeze a dirty 2-2 out of this, personally.
Still, let me ask you. Welcome. By the way, guys, I will be ending this show at 8 p.m. just so everyone knows. I need a night of nothing. If I'm honest, I need this won't be a 4 or 5 hour stream. Still, obviously we spoke earlier. I'd like to get what was your first reaction when you saw that Spurs had bought in Tudor and Arsenal as the first game at home? Is that a positive or a negative for a new manager?
Well, first of all, you can't write this shit. We hire a new manager to save our season on Friday the 13th.
My lucky day.
Pick any date in the calendar, but the most unluckiest day to do anything. No, we go for the most unluckiest day to sign a new manager. We couldn't wait till Valentine's Day or Sunday. Friday the 13th, right? So it's written in the stars, man. It's written in the stars. I'm just going to say the obvious. His first 5 games will determine whether or not this is a good idea. Because I really don't know. I just don't know. I wouldn't have hired him. I wouldn't. His track record is shocking, absolutely shocking. But he has got a bit of a name of getting a little bounce when going to a club, and that's all we need. We need to get 3 or 4 wins. So fans said anyone but Frank. Now they're upset. I said Harry Redknapp. I said get Alonso in if he's prepared to come just for 4 months. I said get Redknapp with Sherwood or something like that. I never once mentioned Tudor because I'd never thought of him. I never even considered him. I was even open to the idea of Sam Allardyce just because this is what he does, saves things from going down, right? Yeah. Honestly, that's where I'm at with it. But
I'd started getting used to the idea of Sagarov coming in and having
see now I would have lost my shit if he came. I would have absolutely lost it.
I kind of wanted it to happen for comedic effect. If I'm brutally honest, I would have loved to have seen the meltdown across the whole Spurs fan base if Gareth Southgate was giving it. It feels, I don't know. I have no feeling about it at all still. Like, I genuinely don't. It's not like I've gone yes or no. He is a hard character. He's tough. My biggest concern with anyone who comes into this job is, do the players have, I was asked Dan this earlier, do the players have that personality to take that on board from an interim? But do you know what I mean? Are they going to go, this is the guy, we've got to play for him? Or are they going to just do what they normally do? I'll be back in 1 sec.
Yeah. Look, first of all, people in the chat, you're unbelievable. Right, not just this chat. Every show I've been on, you are unbelievable people. You're all saying good appointment, Tudor, be positive. Not one of you mentioned his name when we were looking for an interim. Not a single sausage of a Spurs fan said, "Get me Ivan Tudor." Oh, yeah, Tudor, he's a good nobody, not one channel, not one fan. Now they're all popping out their woodwork. Good appointment, yeah, solid interim. You're talking out of your asses, people. You're all talking out. The reality is this: none of us have got a clue whether this is going to be good or not. Right?
Yeah, agreed.
We haven't got a clue what's going to happen with this guy. Right? Is he going to get a tune out of these players?
Time will tell, won't it?
No, Dan, no idea. Because part of me believes that if he's more positive in his rhetoric and he's more of a waffler, you know, telling the players that they're all class and, you know, you're better than this, maybe that gives them a lift and we get more out of them. But I don't know if that's what he's going to do. And I don't know if that's enough for our players. So, Sava, it's an impossible question to answer. I'm lost for answers regarding anything going forward with this club. I'm at a loss. You're on mute, Sava. You're on mute.
I think he's more the type of person. I mean, that's only going by what I remember him as a player, basically. Who's more likely to stand there and give you a slap in the face and tell you to get your act together. I think he's more that sort of person, but that's just how it comes across. Whether he is or isn't, I don't know. I really don't know. We just don't know how this is going to go. And did I sit there and think of Tudor, of him to come in as no? It didn't even cross my mind. I even forgot he was a manager until I saw it come up. But personality-wise, just by the way he played, to me, he comes across like not like the one who's going to put his arm around you and give you a tactical story and tell you you're great and that. He comes across more like the one who's going to tell you, get your act together, boy, or I will slap you sort of attitude. That's how he comes across. Whether he's like that or whatever, we don't know what happens off of it. But I think he's more the type that's going to give them a bit of a home truth and put it on them how they've got to fix up quick. And I think where they complained about the lack of charisma off of Frank, and some players did come up and say that afterwards, this might actually be what they need.
I think our players need to be loved and lied to. I think they need to be loved and lied to. honestly, I don't think our players can handle being told what a bunch of they are. They're not. Yeah. Romero will just kick off and to turn certain players against him. Other players will cry. Other players will just be downhearted. I think a Paulinho, he'll handle it. A Paulinho will handle it. Yeah. Mickey van der Ven probably. Maybe Jed Spence. In fact, I don't know with Jed Spence. I'll take that back. There's 2 or 3 players that can handle that kind of a treatment, Dan. The rest of them, I think they're going to just fold.
Yeah. I could believe that as well. I said that to Savra. I mean, I do think we've got quite a, not just physically, but mentally pussy team, basically, if I want to put it as blunt and blatant.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, and yeah, everyone keeps talking about Teddy Sheringham. I haven't seen what Sheringham said, but I believe it's along the lines of no experience. He doesn't trust what the club are doing. I mean, listen, he's not told us anything we don't know, right? Like we all like Ange told us everything we know about the club yesterday. Teddy Sheringham saying things today. You know, these people are telling us what we know.
Sava, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? We've got a lot of young players that we're now going to depend on because a lot of the senior players are injured. So your Brays, you look at the bench against Newcastle. It was 70% academy, right? And even the ones that were on the bench that weren't academy, the Tells, the Odegaard, they're young. We've got a very young group of players. These modern youngsters in life, you can't go in hard. You can't go Conte on them. You can't go Fergie on them. You got to mollycoddle them, unfortunately, because that's the generation that they are. It's not their fault.
It's Gen Z, isn't it? It's Gen Z, isn't it?
It is, and it's not their fault that they're like that. That's the world that we've created for them to grow up in. So the reality is, this is why I think a Redknapp type person was better, because he's going to tell them what they want to hear.
More of an arm around the shoulder type.
yeah, you're a superstar, son. You're a star in the making. And the players be like, yeah. You know.
Fair
Whereas
point.
if this guy comes in, all Billy Big Bollocks, I'm going to lay down the law. I think I don't think that's the way to go with our players.
I agree.
Just threatened to take their iPad.
They're not dealing with a Diego Simeone type style, are they? Like he would ruin them. You know what I mean? But look, it's going to be really interesting to see. I think a lot of this is unknown. So, like, even if we know, like, we obviously all know Igor Tudor has been a manager. We knew him as a player. But I can't sit here and tell you I'm expecting X, Y, Z. Very different when you're managing at Juventus, right? When you're managing in Turkey, it's very different to coming into this circus of a club when we are at rock bottom. And that's where I'm just not sure. Should it have been someone with a little bit more experience of? I'm just asking the question. Should it have been a Sherwood who knows the club? Should it have been a Harry Redknapp who knows the club? I don't know, guys, but I'm intrigued more than anything. I think meh is my word.
Yeah,
intrigued.
I'm the same.
Meh.
I'm the same.
Where are the goals coming from, guys? Whatever you guys know, I've talked about this all season. I still worry about where are the goals coming from, and I guess that leads to the conversation of Kolo Muani, who's obviously played for Igor Tudor before. Could this be a good thing in terms of I would say reigniting his Spurs career? But to be fair, he hasn't ever really started it, has he? Could this be the best we see of Muani?
I hope so, because he's been god awful since he's been here in front of goal. But I actually see where I agree with James Flower that Muani's crap. I just think he's crap in front of goal. I actually think he'd be a good number 10 if we played with 2 10s. I actually believe he's got skill and he's got some creativity about him. I do think he's got it in his locker. I just don't think we've got that out of him. In front of goal, I don't like him as much, but in a more creative central role, I think we can get something out of him. I don't like him on the wings either. I don't like him on the flanks. I think he needs to be in the middle, either as a fake 9 or in a 10. I think that's where we should play him.
Yeah, Dan, where are you with Muani? Because Stel is not wrong. I believe it's something like, is it 29 games in all competitions he's played? Something like that, and he's scored in 2 games. Is he that bad, or is it that he just doesn't want to be here? Was it Frank? Could Tudor be the guy that sorts him out?
I think he's got the capability, but I think the thing Muani's shown us is he hasn't got the mentality. And with the mentality side, even if you end up going to a club you don't want to go to, but you're going to have to play football, you've got the World Cup coming up, for God's sake. You'd still expect someone who's got a bit of pride to go in and give it 110%, or at least give it 90%, sort of. Get stuck in and do the best you can. He's looked like on the pitch at times that he just don't want to be there, and it blatantly shows. Some people are very good at acting that they want to be somewhere when they don't, and other people, me being one of them, can't do it. And with him, it just shows night and day that he does not want to be there. I've seen him do some really good stuff with the ball. His ball control and dribbling with the ball is good. He's not slow. He's quite good in the air. But when it's come in front of goal, he's just looked very, word I can use, incapable.
See, I think he looks lackadaisical. There was I don't know if you guys remember this. In the Newcastle game the other night, there was a towards the end of the game, the ball was played into him in the box. You know, you're thinking a sharp striker takes it in his feet, shuffles it out as a dig at goal. It just seems like he flicks at everything. Do you know what I mean, guys? It just feels like everything needs to be a little flick and a little layoff rather than actually going, yeah, I want the ball, give it to me, I'm going to hold it up. I truly think, I don't think he wants to be here, and I never thought he wanted to be here.
No, he don't.
And
I think he'd be better than this.
That's why Redknapp would have said to him, "You're brilliant at Juventus. I loved watching you play. You've got such a cracking right foot on you. I'd love to see you do that here. You deserve to play for France World Cup. In fact, do you know what, son? Yeah. Go get 10 goals. You're playing for France. I'll speak to the manager, make sure he's watching you." That's the conversation that needs to be had. You know,
Tudor played with him though, didn't he? If I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that going to be a help sort of thing that they sort of know each other a bit?
That's what Sam was saying.
Because he didn't do too sad underneath him, did he?
Let's have a look. So he was there at the
back end
of last season, right?
Yeah.
So Kolo Muani, back end of last season, played 16 games for Juventus in the league and scored 8 goals. So what's that? 1 every 2.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Like that's what a proper striker does, right? And at Tottenham, 18 league games, no goals. That's
shit.
Shocking, isn't it? Yeah, like
you wouldn't even expect Richarlison to be that bad, and he hasn't.
He's worse than Werner. His stats are worse than Werner.
Yeah, I know you said that earlier. The fact that we're comparing our players to Timo Werner, who's done better, is just that says it all, basically.
Yeah, but look, again, he's got to do something, right? Because at the moment, what we're seeing is, first of all, I think there's a lack of fight. We only seem to fight when we're losing, which is and if that's on Frank, then that's on Frank. But we're about to see, right? Because every time we go behind, suddenly we get a burst of energy, don't we? Not saying anything always comes from it, but we get a burst of energy. We suddenly start trying to get the ball forward. He's got to address that from minute 1, hasn't he? He's got to address the intensity. He's got to address the belief. And guys, I'm about to find out if my theory's been right all season with the players not being very good, or whether or not Thomas Frank truly was that bad and couldn't motivate footballers. Like, this is...
Sava, the thing is, I don't think this is the manager to test that theory. Because I don't rate Tudor. I don't think we've signed a good manager. I just don't know if he's going to be able... See, you never know until they actually do the job, right? He could come in, it might just work. But when you look at his track record, I don't know if you've seen this.
It's not too sad. I mean, he saved Lazio. He saved Lazio's arse, and he didn't do too sad at Juventus.
Let me read this out to you. He did 9 months at PAOK, sacked. 7 months at Carabasco, left. 10 months at Galatasaray, sacked. 2 months at Udinese, he left. Came back for a second spell, sacked after 7 months. Went to Hijack Split, resigned after 8 months. Went to Hellas Verona, he left after 8 months. Went to Marseille, did 1 year, left. Went to Lazio, 3 months, resigned. Juventus, 7 months, sacked. This is shocking. Like, it is absolutely shocking.
But his stats where he's there ain't too sad.
Someone at Tottenham, do you know, I'll send it to you, Sam, so you can put it up on the screen. Someone at Tottenham looked at that and said, that's the guy we need. There must be something they've looked at. And is he, do you know what I want to see? Is he really good for the first 8 games? Like, is he brilliant for the first 8 games? And they've seen that. I'm like, okay, that'll do.
I remember his first couple of games with Juventus. They'd just got a bit of a hammering. I can't remember. I know they got beaten quite nicely a couple of times and they were doing poor. And when he came in, he definitely brought them up a leg or 2. And then it started going down a bit. If I remember with Lazio, he actually saved their arse, if I remember right.
Sam, I've just WhatsApped you, right? You can put it on the screen if you want. At Lazio, he resigned after 3 months.
But could though, just devil's advocate, could the fact that he is a manager that has short stints at places, could that be the thinking of, well, this guy's used to going in, doing something over a really short space of time and then going? He's like in the professional world, he's like a contractor, isn't he? This guy's never firm anyway. He's a contractor.
But he gets sacked. He gets sacked.
Or was he one of the only people we could get who was willing to do it for that short amount of time in the situation that it is?
That's what
basically step into a relegation battle, because we are in a relegation fight as far as I'm concerned, and just do it for a couple of months. Obviously, his pay's going to be quite nicely just to do it. Is it one of the only ones we could? It's got Paratici written all over it, a million%.
Do you know what? There's no grey area with this guy. It's either going to be a really, really good, cunning move, or it's going to be an absolute disaster of the highest level. It's going to be shockingly bad. There's no middle ground.
The worrying thing, though, still, The worrying thing, you're not wrong, but the worrying thing is it can't be the second. It can't be the second option, can it? Like this. If I said to Dan earlier, if he comes in, we lose to Arsenal, lose to Fulham straight away. Everyone, you'd love to think we're all going to sit there and go, "Come on, mate, you've still got 10 games to turn it round." But we're all so nervous already that the noise will grow. When he comes into his second home game, if he loses the first two, everyone's going to be like, "Oh my God, this is shit," and the atmosphere is going to be crap in the stadium. This is a big move. This is by the way, we would have been having this conversation with whoever came in, right? But this is a big 3 months for Spurs and for Tudor. And let's be fair, if this guy takes us down, I don't think he will, but if this guy takes us down, we're going to look like it's going to go down as a terrible decision, and they're going to have to live or die by that, right, guys? They're going to have to.
Whatever decision they made, all right, if we'd have brought Redknapp in, anyone we would have brought in is basically, you can say a gamble, but to what extent, who could we have got or whatever. Would I have wanted Gareth Southgate coming in for this? No, I wouldn't. Because, again, for me, he's not exactly the biggest charisma man out there who's going to sack the players out as such or whatever. But maybe we just see it in a different light. But Estelle is right. This is going to be one of two things. He's either going to basically get in a Lamborghini or he's just going to have a car crash. As simple as that. It's going to be one of two ways. I don't think there's no in-betweener with this. It's literally a black or white situation, I think, this one.
You've got to.
I was just going to say, have they thought about, I mean, we know what these owners are like. Have they thought about the fans in this? And do we matter? And what I mean by that is, there were lots of names going. People are going, "Oh, God, I love Robbie Keane, right? He gets us. Oh, I'd love Sherwood. He's played for us. He's captained us. Could it be Jermaine Defoe? Could it be Redknapp?" Do we matter in these opinions? And have the club thought about us? Or is this literally, they've gone, well, hang on, Paratici suggested Tudor. We know he's available. Bish, bash, bosh.
If they thought about us, then Poch or Redknapp would be at the wheel right now. So they clearly don't. I'm just stunned. They've sacked Thomas Frank because they're petrified of relegation. And they feel that Frank's going to take us down. And they've hired a manager with no English football experience and no English relegation battle experience. I'm stunned by that. That's the bit I can't get my head around. And you're gone, yeah.
People saying Robbie Keane and that. Well, what experience has Robbie Keane? Oh, what? Just because he knows the club?
That's just a feel-good factor thing.
Just what a load of bollocks that is. I want someone who understands the club. Oh, shut up, will you? Like, understand the club. That one for me is total bullshit. Utter, total crap. Yeah? Personal opinion on that one. Well, he understands the club, so he's going to do the job properly. He cares for the club, so he'll get the job done right. At least with this manager, he's got experience as a manager. What experience has Defoe got? What experience has Robbie Keane got? And people would have preferred Robbie Keane in because he understands the bloody club. No, not for me.
No, I think they're looking at having someone with heart for the job, because they feel that it needs that love to get us out of it. How true that is in reality, I don't know.
So do you think right now, right? If and by the way, we're going to go for 10 more minutes, guys and girls. Do you feel right now, had it have been, let's just forget his age, but let's just say it was Harry Redknapp, just for argument's sake. If Harry Redknapp had been unveiled today as the interim manager, everyone would be feeling very different, right? By the way, I'm not saying Tudor will or won't work. I don't know enough about it, right? But do you is that what you're talking about still? It's kind of like that feel-good factor that a lot of the fan base would have gone, "Oh, God, Harry. Yeah. We know Harry. We feel safe with Harry. He's been in relegations before as Harry. He's worked at Spurs. He knows the..." Is that what you're saying? It's that more than us all sitting in our going, "Oh, yeah, it's okay."
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's exactly it. Look, this thing about Ryan Mason, Robbie Keane, Defoe, I'm not on board with that. I just don't think Mason's good enough. Defoe's not experienced enough. Robbie Keane, he's doing well, but he's only just started out. This is a different ball game. But someone like a Redknapp with a Sherwood, I'm on board with it.
I could have gone with that.
I could have gone with that. But, even Poch, I could have gone with that. But I don't actually know what we've done bringing in this guy, what the thinking is. Honestly, I'm really just confused by it. But I'm not going to shit on it totally. I want to. I do want to shit on it. I do, because I've got a bad feeling about this. But if he gets 4 or 5 wins, then the board did the right thing. They got it right. But if he doesn't. See, do you know what's going to... It's funny, you said something. If we lose to Arsenal and Fulham, the fans are going to turn. I think if we lose to them and West Ham get a win, then they're going to turn. If the gap goes to 2 points, 1 point, then they're going to turn. If there's still a 5-point gap, they're going to say, just, let him settle in.
Calm down.
It depends what West Ham do and Forest and those teams.
Yeah, I mean, but by the way, people in the chat, I wasn't suggesting Harry. I was just using him by way of an example of what I think would have got fans more excited. Look, I've got to say at this stage, excitement, though, is not the be-all and end-all at this stage, right? The excitement from the fans is not the be-all and end-all because it's about staying in the Premier League, which I think we will do. I think if this had been a permanent appointment, I feel like gloves would have been off, and I think many people would be not sitting here as calm as we all are, right? I think if this had been a permanent appointment, we would have. Is there a chance he stays, guys? So, for example, if he wins 7 of his 12 games,
if he goes and wins all of them,
if he gets 21 points out of 36, wins 7, maybe 5 in a row, you don't think there's a case where they
if
go,
he
well,
does that, 1 minute, if he does that with this squad, he deserves to stay. If he does that, if he can do that with this team, he deserves to stay.
No. If he goes and wins every game out there 5-0, he still ain't staying because Poch is coming.
No, but
that is the way I'm seeing it. I get what you're saying with deserve and that, but
I don't know.
Look, if he goes and wins every game 5-0, yeah, people are going to be saying, well, maybe we should keep him. But then all of a sudden, someone's going to go, there's Mr. Poch. Yeah, baked potato, mate. See you later. Get that fella in there is what you're going to see off a majority of fans. Even if he goes and wins every game 10-0, as all they're going to have to do is wave that little Poch, and you're going to have, I'd say, 75% of the fan base. We're satisfied. Poch is going to rescue everything. We're going to be fantastic again. We're all going to be united again. And then if Enoch don't sort it out, which they won't, you're just going to see a bloody lorry crash, let alone a car crash. Maybe that's a negative way to look at it, but that's just how I see it.
I love this. I want Poch back. One last shag with the ex. Love that. I think, listen, just to round off the show, the last couple of minutes, I think the interesting thing about this is Stelly's right. If he was to win every game 3 or 4-0, he's not going to, but 3 or 4-0, then you could say, well, yeah, give the man the job. But Danny's also right. I do think that they are trying by hook or crook to get Pochettino back. The one thing I said earlier, Stell, I don't know if you heard this. I said earlier, if Pochettino comes back, what I don't want to see is we're sitting there through all of June and some of July, the USA are still in the World Cup going, don't worry, we're not doing any deals until Poch is back. I don't want any of that, mate. It's got to be a plan, and we've still got to be doing signings while he's at the World Cup, right? I can't be doing any of this. We're leaving it until the end of the summer.
I don't think many deals are going to get done because of the World Cup.
You're not?
Well, there's a record number of teams in the World Cup, so there's going to be a shitload of players playing. I actually think not just us, but pretty much every team is going to have to wait until the World Cup, at least the group stage is over. Because they're going to be playing. I mean, how do you do the business if they're out there in the tournament?
Well, that's what they're what's it there for, isn't it? To do the job for them, basically. That's all it takes is a bloody phone call off of their what's it called? I forgot the bloody name of them now. The one who works for them, the one who gets the job done.
The agent?
The agent, that's it. It's the agent's job to sort it out. It's all he's got to do. Like, right, Spurs have offered you this. Do you want to take it? Yes or no? No.
Yeah, but if you're in a World Cup and you're zoned in the tournament,
I'm sure you can handle a bloody phone call.
Yeah, but I don't think players are going to want to make decisions because they're going to want to see what options come to the table. Because if you have a phenomenal tournament, suddenly other clubs want you as well, right?
Fair point. Fair point. Fair point.
You're not wrong, Dan. Look, you can do business whenever you want. I just always find when there's a World Cup, it's difficult.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
I think that's a fair point you've got with like if a player goes and all of a sudden has a spectacular World Cup, all of a sudden he comes to the next best thing since sliced bread and the whole world wants him when he's been pretty irrelevant for a year or two. You're right. I can take that. That's a fair point.
I think the interesting thing is going to be if it is Poch or whoever the manager's going to be, are Spurs going to announce it the very first day of after the season's finished? If it is Poch, are they going to announce it before the World Cup at the risk of how do the USA players feel about that? Do you know what I mean? How does the US nation react to, what do you mean? You're leaving us off? You know, I don't know. They might love that he's leaving. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Spurs do from that front. But we know something, don't we, guys? And I'll end the show on this. I'll do some super chats, but Spurs will make a meal of it. But whatever it is that we're going to do, we will make this hard work, won't we? You know we will. You know we will. You know we will. Let me do some super chats to round this off. First of all, a big up to Emma. Hope you're well, Emma. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. Thank you very much for the super sticker. That's very, very kind of you indeed. Big up to Tony, who said, we just need him to save our arse, then he can go. Yeah, listen, he knows what he's coming in for. There's no settling in period. He's got to get the job done right now. So big up to you, Tony. Really appreciate that. Big up to Queen Ellie, who said, Dan, you may very well be a wizard in the kitchen. At least your jerk chicken was quite magical. And you have a way with words that hit hard and true. Ellie, this is a football channel. If you want to flirt, just send Dan a WhatsApp. That's all you got to do. Do you know what I mean?
It's Valentine's Day tomorrow, Ellie.
Yeah, there you go. Just getting in a Valentine's message early. Thanks, Ellie. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then Gerald has come in with 2 super chats. Very, very generous. First one says, oh, no, sorry, that's the second one. The first one says, will Poch come back if we're in the championship?
No.
I would judge him if he did. I'll be honest, but who knows? If he loves the club as much as he tells everyone on podcasts, then he does, right? We'll see. We'll see. I don't think we're going down anyway, but we'll see.
I think
Gerald.
Poch is desperate to come back to Spurs, man. I think he's.
It does say. Look at the interviews he's done and everything, like the one he done about 3 months ago on the TV and everything. Yeah, Spurs will always be in my heart. They're the club. They spoke about 30 minutes on there about like the Champions League with Ajax, this and that, and everything. He wants to be back here. Obviously, he does. And the whole thing, I think, has been building up slowly but surely. I think this digs a bit further back, maybe, possibly.
Yeah. Agreed. Big up you coming again, Gerald. Very generous. Said, by the way, sad to see you go, mate. I understand you and your family take care. Yeah, listen, I've not gone anywhere yet. I'm still around for a bit. The date that I want to end might push back a month. I don't know at the moment. Depends on a few things. But at the moment, I'm still here, Gerald. You still get to see this ugly face. But big up to you. That's very, very generous. So thank you very much. Andy Lester, been a member for 8 months, says, big up, Sever. Let's hope he does well for us. Listen, I think we're all in agreement on that, right? This is now no longer about anyone's ego. This is no longer about who we like and don't like. He's got to do well for us because the Premier League status is at the heart of this. And then big up Andy's coming again with a super sticker. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you, buddy. Please subscribe to Spurs Corner. Please subscribe to the Hotspur Hood. And please subscribe to me if you want. If not, I'll be back probably. But we'll see. I might have a couple of days off, to be honest. But still, thank you very much, Dan. Thank you, guys, girls. Go and spend some time with your loved ones. FA Cup's on. Sky Sports is on. There's an otter in the sea on Sky Sports. That might make you laugh. Take care. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs.